Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Vlad Zherenovsky. I'm a founder and president of Craner, an independent wealth management company. And with me is my very dear friend and colleague and a senior investment consultant at Craner, Mr. Nicholas Choman.
Hello, everybody.
So we wanted to share with the rest of you what it is that we are doing while we're not talking to you on the phone. And first and foremost, we are all safe. Our team is working remotely. We're diligently looking after your accounts and the investments and looking for opportunities. And we sincerely hope that you and your loved ones are also safe and secure and everyone is okay. Clearly, this has been quite an ordeal in our lives. But
Hmm.
Nick's been in this business for 25 plus years, and he's a lap and a half on the circle of life ahead of me, right, Nick?
That's it. You know it, Vlad.
So we really felt that we wanted to reach out to you, and for you to see how we are continually working. Like we stop by the office, we check the mail, and we'll look at things. However, we felt that we need to share with you that we are looking across the valley, and this is how we wanted to title this conversation and discussion with all of you. And why don't I have Nick take over from here, and he'll share with you what it is that we're looking at, and we'll tell you about what we have done to get us to this point and what we're working on to get us beyond this point. So, Nick,
Thank
take
you,
it from here.
Vlad. Thank you, Vlad. We take a lot of pride in what we do. And so we're looking across the valley, as Vlad said, because we see the opportunities that exist down the road. And just to give you a case in point, we have deployed some cash that we put along in the sidelines late last year, and we've invested that money strategically, earlier in March. And so now we see that there are those dollars that we put to work at that time will be able to take advantage of the lower price points that existed. And so now when the market is starting to recover as it has, we will be able to see and enjoy that upward mobility on those price points as they evolve throughout the next months and years ahead. So Vlad, we're looking at that opportunity as we always have, as one where we can take our investors' money and be proactive in a way that it's going to benefit them.
Correct.
So we're just so elated that we were able to do that, and we'll be doing that. That's the kind of planning that you and I together, managed to make an effort so that we can really know how to manage markets when the opportunity presents itself.
And Nick, to your point, you're absolutely correct. You remember how many families at the end of last year, when we told them we're pulling 20% from their investments and moving it into, on the sideline into short-term bond investments. And you and I laughed where our cash positions were up 5% for the year. I know, I am being facetious about it, but, Warren Buffett said, you want to be fearful when others are greedy, and be greedy when others are fearful. And when the markets are hitting new highs and people were calling and asking about Tesla and Apple's and Facebook and we should buy more, invest more money, when evaluations got out of control, you and I recognized it. And this is why we made a strategic move. We moved money out to the sideline. In the beginning of January, we rebalanced accounts with Eric's help, and every single one of you have been notified that your account was rebalanced. And what it means was we took additional profits and we bought things that were on sale. Now, having said that, that money that we kept on the sideline was still on the sideline. And then when this fiasco happened, and within weeks, the stock market deteriorated to the levels that unprecedented before. I've never seen this in my career, and I went through 2008. And you yourself, you went through
Yes.
1987. That was quite
Yes, it was.
scary environment because the markets have never gone down so much in one day. And everyone always says, "Oh, it's different this time." Well, it's not. It's not different this time. Markets collapse, markets recover. But if you take a look between what happened in 2008 and today, we're still up, tenfold. And even between what happened a few weeks ago when the market Dow Jones hit 18,000. from 29,000, and today it's settling in at 24,000 points as I'm watching the financial news. You know, in March, on March 17th and 18th, because we have the confirmations, we deployed half of those cash positions. And since then till now, the market rallied about 20%. So we really were proactive. And nobody ever gets in on the bottom. Nobody ever gets out on top. But if something is on sale for 10% and we like it, when that goes down on sale to 40%, we're loving it. We're loving it. Right, Nick?
Absolutely, Vlad. That's the opportunity that we see, and that's looking across the valley because we know that those things will eventually come to fruition.
Right.
They'll play out for us.
Right. And then you and I talked about it when we started loading up on United Airlines, Delta, Southwestern Airlines, cruise ships and oil companies when oil collapsed. And as we've been proactive in calling our clients, and we're saying, well, why are you buying it? It's like, well, why not? It's being offered at 70 to 80% discount, and it doesn't. You don't have to have an MBA degree in economics, right, to realize that United Airlines is going to go back to flying. Southwestern Airlines will continue flying. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen to Spirit Airways, but that's why it might not be a good idea to touch them.
That's right. So we know we can discern that.
Right, exactly. So, and now as we are seeing that we're probably peaking with the with COVID-19, and I've said this in the email several weeks ago that the market will turn before anyone realizes, and it will turn fast and hard. So for everyone who sat and waited and thought maybe, I'll just wait to see what happens, well, you missed out on the greatest rally since literally the Great Depression, right, Nick?
That's right, exactly. Because when you were out of the market for the 20, there's a statistic, Vlad, that we know that if you miss the best 20 days within a market year, your return is really drops like by 80%. So you have to be a long-term investor, and you can't be timing the market. If you're not in the market when you have these rallies, it's not going to work for you in the long term.
Right. No, you're absolutely correct. So coming back to the topic of this discussion across the valley. So as you can see, we raised the cash, we rebalanced, we deployed the cash. We just continue. It's the beginning of the second quarter. We know it's definitely not going to be a pleasant quarter. Many companies will be reporting negative earnings, but the market's still going up. It's marching onward. And we just completed reviewing drift reports just to see if anything is out of whack and we need to rebalance, or maybe there was an opportunity to deploy additional cash. But let's kind of talk about what's going to happen a year from now, right? Every viral disease that we've had in this country, and you all remember Zika, swine flu, then we had measles, right? Then we had what SARS was another big one, right?
Okay.
And they're all in our past, but we had like 5 or 6 major outbreaks within the past 7 years. And now, as deadly, as terrible as COVID-19 is, it will end. And we'll go on, and then we'll remember it, just like we unfortunately remember 9/11. It was a tragic, terrible event, but it's in our history. So a year from now, we will have a different norm, right? We don't know how much deeper we'll go into the valley. We can't look up into the sky, but we are focusing across the valley. We know that Disney World is going to reopen their theme parks. We know that the airlines will start flying again. We know that people start booking hotels and continue utilizing Expedia and Trip.com and Bookings.com. We know that as soon as that starts to pick up, we'll go back to driving. Funny enough, I think I told you, I filled out my car 2 weeks ago. I don't go anywhere. It's still right? We go to local grocery shops once a week and that's it.
Yes.
So as soon as we start traveling again, we'll start needing oil. Manufacturing will obviously pick up because we'll start consuming things. So oil will recover. Master limited partnerships will recover. So we do know that there is a light, not even at the end of the tunnel. We're already like 3/4 of our way through the tunnel. Of
Yeah.
course, I'll be the first one to acknowledge that I think local businesses like, your dance studios and karate studios and perhaps small local gyms will be out of business, right? They will be unable to
Yes,
sustain themselves.
certainly.
But in the grand scheme of things, these are not the companies we invest the money into, right? These are the avenues and businesses that help us enhance our life. So there'll be new businesses that'll open up, new gyms, new dance studios, new karate studios, if you will. And why don't I ask you, Nick, how do you think would be the best way to convey this message to our clients that we do know that things are going to be okay?
I think, Vlad, the best way to convey that is to, just as you said before, our diligence in looking at the opportunities of raising cash when we have to raise cash and then deploying that cash when the opportunity presents itself. Like, for instance, if we wanted to see, price points of, say, like you had indicated, airlines or booking for travel agents, those are areas where we see a viability to maybe add to the positions that we already have for those. So I think that by our looking at the scope of where the markets are headed, then we have a better understanding of what areas or what asset classes we can choose to make the most money going forward.
I completely agree with you, Nick. This was a great discussion, and I want to end it by saying to all of you, thank you for allowing us to play an important role in your success. We're happy to be in this with you, and as you can see, we're diligently being proactive. We're not hiding. If you have any questions, call us. We are obviously reaching out and letting you know what's going on. But the dumbest thing that anyone could say in the moment like this is stay the course, right? Like,
Yes.
you have to be active. You have to be proactive. We don't have a crystal ball, but as you can see, the things that we shared with you, we have an investment committee that reviews things, and Nick and I are part of it. And we're happy to be able to provide you with guidance.
Thank you, everybody.
Until our next discussion.
We'll talk again.